Cut! Hey, how's everyone doing? usmcsaxoki. Sitting in my house this morning, waiting for my old computer to charge up because I'm going to do a video about this. This is my computer from 2009 that I bought, and I'm just going to do a video about the proof that like lithium-ion batteries do last a really long time, because this computer, the battery's still good. It'll last a good 5, 6, 7 hours when it's fully charged. So I'm going to do a video about that, but the ironic thing about that is I got it out this morning and I used it last night. I was watching Netflix. I was watching Better Call Saul, good show. And it wasn't plugged in and I was using the battery, so I'm waiting for the battery to charge up. Then I'm going to do a video on that. But in the meantime, I just had my coffee and I was here in my living room, and I just was doing, I was actually looking at Tesla's website because I like to look at their used cars. But I was doing a thought experiment, the old like, hey, if I won the lottery or if I got $1 million, what would I do with it? And just thinking about how much money $1 million still is today. We hear about in the news, we only hear about billionaires and trillions of dollars, like the country's in debt and whatnot and all that. But $1 million is still a lot of money, and I'm going to show that here. Yeah, so enjoy. It's been a long time since I made videos, so because, like I said, I moved all, you probably don't know, moved all my stuff. I bought a house in Indiana. That's another video. I moved my wife, my kid, and 95% of our stuff up there, so it's kind of a bare bones house right now. But her computer, well, it was really our computer. We didn't get divorced, we're fine. It's just situational, right? That's the story for another time. Anyway, the computer that I use for editing my videos is with her, essentially. So that's like her computer. So I'm left with my old one, but I want to keep making videos, so I downloaded some editing software, Filmora 9, and I tried to do it on this computer, which is 11 years old, and didn't work very well. So I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna go buy a new computer. Went and bought an Asus VivoBook. I like Asus. It's what that computer is. Kind of like in my opinion, mid-range. It was like $525. So the editing software works. I'll be able to do videos now. Anyway, enough flabbergasting. Let's talk about what I would do with $1 million and why $1 million is a lot of money. $1 million, that's the number right there we're going to go off of. $1 million was deposited into your savings account. Like, that's your money. You're not going to owe anything at the end of the year. That's it. Like, taxes have been paid. Okay? So, why is $1 million a ton of money? All right? So, here's what I would do with $1 million. Okay? And this is going to go into investing, spending, mostly spending. Okay, and not like on just like things. Like, I'm not gonna go out and buy a brand new like Model S or Model X. Okay, so $1 million right here. First thing I think I would do, pay off the mortgage. I forget what the actual number is. About $250,000 of mortgage debt that we owe over 30 years. So bam, pay that off. Done. $750,000 left. No mortgage, so we don't owe anything on our house. Now, what would I do now? Okay, so what I would do is put up a solar system and install some power walls. Okay, so I'd want to offset all energy usage with solar panels and some battery storage. All right, let's say, so I get top dollar stuff, that's probably going to cost $50,000. All right, and that's probably a little bit more than what it would actually cost, but we're just going to go with that. All right, so I'm left with $700,000. Okay. House is paid for, house has been upgraded, we've increased the value of the home, and now the home is generating money for us through solar power. All right, so now, because it's about 9 acres, and we want to put animals, have a garden, have an orchard. Let's talk some upkeep things to get the house where we want to be. So, realistically speaking, it probably isn't going to cost us much, but let's say I want to put up like another barn, or just the things add up, right? So barn, fence, get things ready for animals. We'll say we'll just be very, that's probably way more than what I would actually spend, probably be half that, but again, this is just a thought experiment. All right, so house is paid for, house has been upgraded, the property, the land is good to go, what we need it to be. So we're still, after all that, we're still left with $650,000. So now what I would do is I would start investing, doing some investment with this. So what I would probably do with this much money is I would find a house, an investment property in the area, a nice like relatively newer suburban house that would cost. I would want to spend about $200,000 on that home. Okay, so I just pay cash for it. Rental property investment, $200,000. All right, we're left with $450,000. Let's go back to that investment property. So, looking in the area, nice houses like that in the suburbs rent for about anywhere from $1,000 to $1,300 a month. So let's just say $1,200 for this thought experiment. So the house is paid for, so I have no mortgage, and it's nice enough to where hopefully things aren't breaking left and right as an investment property, and I find some nice people to rent the house. So now I have free cash flow of $1,200 a month. So, so the house is mine, and it's making $1,200 a month. So, also with that, let's talk about assets and equity a little bit here. So, paying off my home that I'm living in and having paid cash for a rental property, that doesn't mean that I'm actually down to this much cash. Well, I am down to this much cash, but that doesn't mean my assets have decreased to this much. So really my assets sit still around like the $800,000 to $900,000 mark, not taking account into appreciation. Because I've traded cash, which is a form of an asset, for property, which is another asset, and equity. Okay, so it's like I haven't spent that money per se. I've traded it from one asset to another and increased my equity doing so. But anyway, go back to the money. So house is good, property's good. Now we have a rental property paid for. We're making free cash flow of, let's say $1,000 a month. And I have $200,000 of equity in a home, rental property. So, but we're still left with $450,000. So that's still a ton of money. What do you do with that? At this point, I would say I would go into the stock market and, put some money in the stock market just as an investment. So I like GM, General Motors. I think it's a good company. I like their products. I've used their products. So let's say I invest. Their stock price is low right now. I invest $50,000 in their stock. And again, that's not spending money. That's just an investment. Okay, $400,000. At this point, let's spend a little money. Let's have a little fun. Okay. At this point, my wife's Prius is probably 200,000 miles or more. But like, hey, we have the money. Let's just go ahead and upgrade your car. But we wouldn't buy new. That's the thing. I wouldn't buy brand new. I'd buy 2 to 3 years old with about 30,000 miles. So let's say a really nice used Prius with trading our old Prius costs us $20,000. All right, so now she has a new car that's probably going to last 10 years. I still have my Volt. $308,000. Now, let's say, hey, our kids are still young. I don't believe in, I'm not going to put like $100,000 to each kid's college fund. I don't believe in doing that. Like, your children should have to earn their college degree if they want it a little bit, like we'll help them out, but we shouldn't just pay for it. So $380,000 left over. Let's say we're just gonna sit on that money because we don't really know what to do with it. And obviously, I'm maxing out my Roth IRA every year, so that's like $6,000 a year. $380,000, a basic no shit savings account. You're in 0.25%. Divide that by 12 because that's what you're really getting per month. Times it by that principal amount. So you'd be getting $79 a month in interest. Not very much, right? Let's say though, you're like, we're gonna sit on this money for 3 years, not do anything with it, but we want a guaranteed return. This really isn't investing. This is more just like saving your money. So we find a CD that pays 3% for 3 years or whatever. I don't know what the rates are. That's just an example. divide that by 12 to get your monthly interest, times that by the principal amount, $950. So you're getting free cash flow of not free cash flow, you have to pay taxes on that at the end of the year, but $950 is what you're making per month on that $380,000 of interest. If you add that to the $1,000 from rent that you're making on your home, now you're making $1,950. $1,950 of essentially cash flow. So your money is making money for you essentially, and this is why money makes money. So if you had $3.8 million in a CD, this is why money makes money makes money. All right. I don't know why 3.8 million. Oh, go back. 3.8. Just if you just had that in a, if you just had that much money in a CD paying 3% APY, annual percentage yield, you'd make that much money every month. Cash flow, like that's a ton of money. Okay, so anyway, after all that, from just $1 million for my personal situation, I still have $380,000 left over. That's still a ton of money. That's enough money to buy another farmhouse with property and land. But again, at this point, I think we would sit on it for a little bit and just kind of let it simmer. It's a lot of money, okay? It's enough money for us really to last us the rest of our lives. No mortgage, investment property, solar panels, house, the property's making money for us, rental property's making money for us. The interest on that money alone, $380,000 is making money for us. So that's how much $1 million is. I hope you're still with me. Thanks for watching. It's funner to think about than it probably would actually be to have that money. Wait, no, I take that back. I would like $1 million. $1 million is enough to where it's not going to make your life super miserable because everybody and their mother wants your money. But it's enough to take care of everything. It is. Thanks for watching. See you next time.